I want to talk a little bit about the draft lottery last night. Jesse and I live streamed during this. And last year, the draft lottery sucked because nobody moved. The exact order at which it started is how it ended.
Uh-huh.
This time we got a big jump. But what was weird about the way they did the broadcast is they actually showed you the lottery balls, which looked like a gigantic bong, actually, is how they, it was like a weird contraption. And we didn't fully, if you're not into that sort of like lottery system, you don't really know how it works. And they did their best to explain it. But they also had... it's like Bill Daly, who is, rose out of the grave and said, okay, I'm ready to do my TV hit now. And the Islanders getting the first overall pick was a big pop. But they also then spent 10 minutes after it trying to catch up. They clearly ran overtime. And Jesse and I were talking, and I'm like, it's getting close to 7:30 here, and this is supposed to be wrapped up. And so they come back from commercial break and go, oh, here's wrestling.
It wasn't the best. First of all, I'm now imagining, and we now go to Bill Daly. Bill? Where's Bill? I'm here. He really is the crypt keeper, that guy. It's terrifying.
He's just not the most, and I don't mean to insult him, he's just not great on TV. I'm sure he would tell you that. He's not a TV person.
No, always great to hear from Bill Daly. No, but what I was going to say is retro things are in style.
Uh-huh.
And what I noticed was NHL draft lottery conspiracies are back, baby.
Oh, yeah?
They were gone for a while, but they are back.
What is it this time?
Is this the Islanders thing?
Because the Islanders lost the All-Star game, and they're very upset about it, and it's become a political thing there.
Yeah, the governor wrote the NHL a letter.
They're very upset about it, and understandably so. And they get the first overall pick.
They can't you can't do an all-star game. Oh, you think so, huh?
That's a good conspiracy theory.
Oh, it's not mine.
No, but I'm saying whoever came up with it, it's pretty good.
It's a good one. And it's a shame because it was every year we had this handshake and that handshake and that handshake, and it died, dead, buried 12 feet under the ground when McDavid went to Edmonton. Gary Bettman cried himself to sleep that night. I know he did. Bitter, like clutching his chest. That was the worst day of his life. I know that for sure.
The Islanders have not had a first overall pick since 2009 when they selected John Tavares. They also selected Rick DiPietro first overall in 2000, defenseman Denny Potvin in 73, and forward Billy Harris in 72.
I wrote a little bit about DiPietro in Hockey Rants and Raves, and what was crazy about taking him first overall, they had Luongo, who they picked fourth.
Right.
He wasn't some guy who they didn't know how good he was. They used a top 5 pick on him, and he had already played for him. Or for them. He was a known commodity. And they're like, nah, we're going to pick this guy and ditch Luongo for a bag of pucks. Mike Milbury wasn't very good at his job.
No, he wasn't great.
No.
Wasn't great. And I'm looking at, there was a really cool sort of interview because the guy that, and Lou Lamoriello's got to just hate life right now because he gets fired and they get the first overall pick. The guy...
He's going to run for governor.
The guy that they had, on the Zoom call, because they had Dubas and Mike Greer and a few other guys, was Ken Morrow, who was actually a member of the 1980 gold medal winning Miracle on Ice team.
Oh, cool.
And he's also a 4-time Stanley Cup champion, I think, with the Islanders. So probably. So I think that's pretty neat, right? That's a cool thing to happen. One thing that did sort of play into this is that the Sharks and Blackhawks avoided the 5-year issue. I think you can only get the first overall pick twice or 3 times within 5 years. The Sharks did get pick number 2, and Mike Greer said if they had gotten the first overall pick this year, they'd be willing to trade it. And they asked him again last night, hey, you got the second overall pick. Are you willing to trade it? And he said, if it makes the organization better, we are absolutely willing to. They
might get their guy at number 2.
They might get something else.
Mm-hmm.
If you're this is not really considered the top 3 in this draft are unbelievable. You're talking about
top 4 or 5, yeah.
So that you're getting a solid player. Next year's draft is going to be crazy.
Gavin McKenna, all you here watching.
There's an audience here. Hi, everybody.
You have got to watch Big Dubs on our channel. Gavin McKenna is cracked. This kid is unbelievable, and he's going to go first overall. If he could be selected second, third, and fourth overall as well, he would. This year's draft is very strong at the top. I don't think there's a lot between the guys in the top 5. Like, you could pick 3rd, 4th, 5th, and maybe get like Michael Misa, who I think had 60 goals in his draft year. Like, that's unbelievable. Gavin McKenna, he shouldn't be playing junior hockey next year.
Mm-hmm.
He's beyond it. He shouldn't be playing junior hockey this year. I think he could have stepped into the NHL as a 17-year-old and competed for the Calder Trophy. This guy's unbelievable. And next year, I think the tanking around the league is going to shock you. There are going to be sub 50-point teams to try to get this kid. He's really, really good.
But as we saw, the Islanders can move up from whatever 14th or 10th to 1st or whatever the heck they
Utah
were.
too?
Yeah, Utah had a big move. So we're going to go through that. But I'm just wondering, we haven't seen a second round or second overall pick move in a long time. We almost never see a first overall pick move. What do you think a trade like that would look like? Like, what do you like, and who's making a trade like that?
That was the first thing I was trying to think of. Because if you're the Sharks, like, I don't know, we got a pretty good glimpse of it when we were there. The future is teal. Like, it's there. Like, you got Celebrini. Like, whoever they pick second is not going to supplant Celebrini as your top guy. You have Eklund, you have Smith. You have this gaggle of guys down with the Barracuda. You also have like still a pretty young crew with the Sharks. You have Askarov in net. I don't know. I think you kind of need players who can play in the NHL now, right?
Can Schaefer do that? Like, I'm looking at their defense and going, do they need a stud on defense?
There has to be people above 30 not named Tyler Toffoli.
Right.
And I don't know if they have anymore other than Vlasic. Like, you need NHL players.
So do the Blackhawks. Do they look at trading this? If you were them, with all the players they have in their system, it's one of the best systems.
They really do too. I wonder if you could look at something like could the Blackhawks trade some of their future for better quality? Like, they have a lot of darts, the Blackhawks, but like not all those guys are going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the Sharks, really. Both those teams have a lot of darts. Not all of them are going to make it. It's sort of like, you know, remember the Leafs rebuild days and we're all like, oh, Soshnikov's going to be a 30-goal scorer. Like, it doesn't work out that way all the time. And like, a guy's major junior numbers or college numbers don't always add up to NHL success. But I wonder if they're able to see, they have the pick.
Yeah.
So they'd be trading it to get more quantity, which I don't think helps them at all. The Blackhawks, like, they got some contracts they don't need. I think they should use it. The Blackhawks should use it, and they also have some more vets. Whereas I think the Sharks should consider trading it.
So you've got the Islanders at 1, Sharks at 2, Blackhawks at 3, Utah at 4, Nashville at 5, Philly at 6, Bruins at 7. They did the tank right, the Bruins. Kraken at 8, Sabres at 9, Ducks at 10, Penguins. I'm coming back to them.
Bruins at
11.
7 is a really good outcome for the city, by the way.
New York Rangers at 12, Red Wings at 13, Columbus Blue Jackets 14, Canucks 15, and the Montreal Canadiens, who acquired the Calgary Flames pick, I believe that was the Monahan trade.
I think you're right.
Is at number 16. So the Canadiens have got to be pretty excited about that. I want to talk a little bit about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They went on a bit of a run towards the end of the season. And if you look at what Josh Yohe wrote in The Athletic, it's quite literally, this is the worst case scenario. Because they were good after the trade deadline, it means that they're drafting outside of the top 10. So they were on a wing and a prayer, hoping that they might move up like Utah and the Islanders did. But they didn't give themselves a great opportunity to do so. And I'm just curious.
Is there something going on with their pick too, where they could have given it away in something, or is it just their pick?
I know last year there was. Last year it was a top 10 protected, and I remember when Dubas was on, I think they came up 14th or something like that, and he just immediately logged off. Because obviously they didn't have a first round pick last year, right?
Yeah.
Or at least not that high. I'm for the Penguins. 11th is still a really good pick. You can get great players at 11.
If you're Dubas,
do you not trade this though? If you're
for what?
Well, I'm curious about so Dubas has signaled a couple of things in his tenure, and they're diametrically opposed. A couple of years ago, it was about Crosby, Malkin, Letang, and one more run. Right now, it seems to be, well, probably do need to do some sort of rebuild. And okay, you go draft this kid at 11. Maybe he steps into the NHL, but likely
At 11, unlikely.
Likely not. And you don't see him for a year or two. Okay. Even if you're retooling, does it not make sense to trade a pick like that? And Kyle loves to do what at a draft?
Trade down.
That's right.
Loves
so he could
it.
still get a first round pick in the 20s.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets a first, a second, and a third. But he's able to get a quality player.
Maybe you're able to trade down. You got a couple seconds or a late first and a second, and you trade those things for players who can help you now. Dubas with
I don't know what they want to do.
Dubas with the Penguins has made a lot of moves that are good in a vacuum, but the context of what the Penguins are matters. You have Crosby, who's still a 90-point player. It's psychotic. You have Malkin, who's still really good. You have Letang, who's an effective player. Carlson's good, I mean, at one end of the ice at very least. Brian Rust put together some incredible performances. Ricard Raquel was one of the most underrated players in the league. What are you? Mm-hmm. Every year I have to remind you, hey, the worst teams in the league are the ones where we can't tell what they're trying to do. Are the Penguins rebuilding? Are they trying to win? You want to do everything at once. And if you think you're a genius, you think you can do it. And 9 times out of 10, you're wrong.
Yeah,
you can't do them all.
In order to know what the Penguins should do with the 11th overall pick, we have to know what the Penguins want to be. You know, if they want to contend next year, if they want to battle for a playoff spot, of course, yeah, you send out the first round pick because then you get some assets that can make you good next year. But if they're rebuilding, then you keep the pick. Maybe you even try and trade up. But we need a definition from Kyle on what the Penguins are.
You could be half pregnant for another 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to want to telegraph that. He doesn't seem to want to tell anybody that. There's a little less talk about going for a run this year.
Well, like trade Crosby. Well, okay, we don't want to. All right, surround Crosby. Oh,
we got the future.
We're not gonna.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy being 12th.
I'm
in the East again. Like,
by the way, I'm just thrilled to hear someone else say it. Because I'm the one. You hate Dubas. You hate the Penguins. No, I just don't understand. What is the direction? What are you?
I think I'm being a little nicer about it and charming.
Okay,
yeah.
fair
And
enough.
by the way, the Penguins had the Rangers' first round pick from this season, but it was top 13 protected. So the Rangers are picking 12th. So that means it slides to next year and it becomes a first round pick unprotected.
I have no idea how they got that.
Through the Vancouver Canucks trade. So the Canucks acquired the Rangers' first round pick and then they flipped it to Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. In the Marcus Pettersson
In the
deal.
Pettersson deal.
Yeah.